Anti-77
Album reviews. Welcome back to Anti-77 Album Reviews. Today, we're doing the new one from Cutworms, Transmitter. Released March 13th, it's 10 songs and 36 minutes. Okay, I don't think a month has gone by since the Cutworms self-titled came out in 2023 that I haven't listened to it. I loved that album when it came out, and it hasn't gotten old for me at all. I actually debuted my audio-only podcast as an exploration of jangle pop, and I completely glossed over the fact that it is so closely associated with folk rock. I was more focused on how the sonic elements came to shape a lot of modern music that I like instead of the lyrical aspect of it. I don't think lyric writing is like a lost art or any kind of bullshit like that, but we do live in a post-sincerity, post-irony. We're living in some crazy times. And I do think that it has become more difficult to write lyrics that could be considered high art. I also imagine as like a guitar-wielding troubadour, it's probably really hard to silence the voice in your head that's like, it's already been said. If Max Clark, aka Cutworms, does have that voice in his head, he has clearly mastered the art of just saying the shit anyway. I'd be lying if I said I couldn't hear older singer-songwriters playing a huge influence here in both good and bad ways. And we'll get into that soon, but being clearly influenced by someone is different than cloning. Something else I attempted to hash out in the first episode of that podcast. Please listen to it, guys. I put a lot of work into that. All that being said, let's get into the songs here. Opening track, Worlds Unknown, is the perfect opener for two reasons. One, it starts off with this very pretty, soft guitar and no percussion, and the guitars just keep layering and layering. I guess Jeff Tweedy of Wilco fame is credited with both production and adding extra guitar tracks on this. There's even a fake out ending at the end with this like really distorted low guitar that comes in, and it's perfect. Super tasteful. But the second reason is it's polarizing. What I mean by that is you're going to know right away if this guy's sincere, heartfelt vocal delivery is going to be too much for you. If that's the case, understandable. Have a great day. But if you like this at all, you're going to love it. This is pretty much the best case scenario for sincere white guy with a guitar singing about a girl he likes. But track 2, Evil Twin, is what fully stopped me in my tracks. I haven't said this on this channel yet, but just for anyone that doesn't know, my favorite band of all time is The Byrds. I'll probably end up making multiple videos about that at some point, but for now, let's just say, hearing a song in 2026 by a guy around my age that could pass as a Gene Clark B-side that I've somehow never heard made me the happiest that I've been in a long time. Folk rock is back, baby! And none of that fake shit either. This is the real deal. My favorite song on this album is definitely track 5, Windows on the World. I'm a huge fan of the band Real Estate, so I mean no shade towards them when I say this, but I feel like Real Estate's been trying to write this song for like 15 years. The song structure walks this really fine line of being both relaxing and engaging. The way it invokes like nostalgia without having to try too hard. And then there's the lyrics. First off, rhyming ephemera with camera is the lyrical equivalent of smoking with an oxygen mask on. Like, this could have gone so wrong, but he pulls it off. If I go on any more about the lyrics, I'm definitely going to drift off into cringe territory, but just take my word on this. Lyric writing from anything approaching guitar rock in this day and age should be celebrated. Unfortunately, right after this comes my least favorite song and low point of the album, Walk in an Absent Mind. Let's see, how do I put this? Hearing the influence of Gene Clark is refreshing and rare and just something that I love. Elliott Smith, on the other hand, is a much slipperier slope. Like, I love Elliott Smith, but I kinda only want to hear him doing this.
I've been away and gone, right.
Now, to be clear, I'm not saying Cutworms did any of this on purpose. It's very much likely that he wasn't thinking about any of these artists when he wrote these songs. I'm just telling you what I hear, and I think if you give it a few honest listens, you're gonna hear what I mean on both counts. But also, the lyrics really missed the mark for me here too, especially after the last song. Windows on the World is so impressive to me because of how much restraint that it shows, and how easily it's still able to paint like a very vivid picture without shoving it in your face. By contrast, You Don't Really Know the First Thing About True Fears just feels heavy-handed. It's not an offensively bad song, I just know he can do better because I just heard it on the last 5 tracks. The closer, Dream, is incredible. It's a piano ballad. Okay, before you run away, just hear me out. The song lyrically reads to me like the frustration of trying to describe a dream to somebody and not being able to convey what you just saw in your dream. But if you listen underneath the piano, there's a very soft string section playing really high notes that add this like perfect tension that feels like the frustration of trying to describe a dream to someone and not being able to do it. String sections adding drama to songs like a film score is something old songs used to do a lot that I really love, and it just doesn't happen much anymore. 2 examples off the top of my head are Riverman by Nick Drake and Ode to Billy Joe by Bobby Gentry. But Dream is doing that in this way more subtle way that you kind of have to listen for. I dare say it's pushing that concept forward, or at least recontextualizing it for the modern ear. Anyway, minus that one song, I think this is Cutworm's best effort to date. And if you like that old folk rock shit, it's back. Check it out. It's streaming on all platforms. Perfect.